Today we're flying from Seattle to London in Virgin Atlantic's premium cabin. Our plane leaves Seattle at 4:30 p.m. and we're supposed to land at 9:50 a.m. in London, which is an 8-hour time difference. We've never been on a flight this long and only have one day in London, so we wanted to make sure that we were as comfortable as possible to be able to sleep without having to pay an excessive amount for a lie flat seat. We're flying mid-October, and we bought these tickets at the end of March for about $1,750 USD. They were slightly cheaper at the beginning of March, but Virgin's upper class was a little over twice that price. There was a dedicated check-in queue for premium, but when we checked in, there wasn't a line for any cabins. The ticket also includes access to a TSA line for premium passengers. This was helpful because my TSA pre-check was not loading onto the boarding ticket. This line was also shorter than the TSA pre-check line, and if you have a pre-check mark on your boarding pass, they give you a red card so you didn't have to remove your shoes. Our flight boarded on time and left on time. The flight attendants were super helpful and very nice throughout the entire flight. This cabin included 2 restrooms that are specific for premium, and you also had dedicated overhead space. After boarding, the flight attendant came around to offer Prosecco or juice for anyone who wanted it. In our seats when we arrived, there was an amenities kit, a pillow, a blanket, and headsets. The headsets had decent audio and were what you would expect from free headsets. The pillow went flat, but it was nice to have, but I would definitely consider bringing your own. The items in the amenities kit weren't of the best quality, but they were helpful. The socks were pretty thin, so I didn't actually use those because I brought my own compression socks. I did, however, use the toothbrush and the toothpaste. The toothbrush was bamboo, and it was really soft on your teeth, and the toothpaste was very minty. The iPad was nice to have, but it was sewn shut, so you do have to pull it apart and take out the seams. And I don't have noise-canceling headphones, so the earplugs were really helpful when trying to fall asleep. The blanket was the best part of all the items left on the seat. It was big enough to cover me. It was thin, but it kept you warm if you wrapped it around yourself, and it had a little neck hole in the middle, so it could go over your shoulders comfortably. The plane had a decent selection of food and drinks to get. There also is a wander wall that you can go up to throughout the flight to collect snacks from in between meal service. A few days prior to takeoff, we got an email that allowed us to choose what meal we wanted for dinner, but breakfast we chose while we were on the plane. The plane had digital shades, so whenever you wanted to lighten up the window or darken it, you have to press that button and then slowly it will change to that. It usually takes about a minute or so. As far as for entertainment, they had a lot of options. They even had all of the Harry Potter movies that you could choose from, which is what we ended up watching. They also had games or music that you could listen to throughout the flight. The seats were very comfortable to sit in. It had a lot of cushion in it. I did not like that the headrest didn't move up or down, and you couldn't move the sides of the headrest in, so that made it a little bit harder to sleep. Also, I'm kind of short, so it didn't sit correctly on my head, so that was uncomfortable for me, but if you're taller, it would be perfect for you. The seats had a footrest that you can put down, but again, I'm short, so it didn't work the best for me, but it was still nice to have. And even though we were in the back of the cabin, our seats still recline back as far as everyone else's. The plugins are hidden and they're in between the seats. They had a UK and US plug-in, so you did not need an adapter. The TV had a remote that you could remove and use to control the TV. It does have a string that's attached to it that was a little hard to put back, but it was useful so you don't have to lean forward and touch the screen. About an hour into our flight, they handed out snacks and you could get a drink, and then they started the meal service shortly after that. He had the lemon seared cod. He said it was good, a little bit salty, but it was a good meal. I had the vegetarian dish, which was a cavatelli pasta in pesto cream sauce. It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It had a lot of flavor. The artichokes were great. The salad was just a garden salad with Caesar dressing on top. But the roll, Even though it was cold, it was really good. Still tasted fresh, so it wasn't stale, and the butter added a great amount of salt to it. You would enjoy the dessert if you like sweet chocolate. For breakfast, I had the French toast with a creme anglaise. The first bite I took of it didn't have any of the glaze on it, and I was like, why am I just eating dry bread? But once I added some of the glaze onto it, it was good. The cooked breakfast was good, except for the sausage. It didn't have a lot of flavor. Overall, it was a really pleasant flight. It was the first time we had flown Virgin Atlantic, and again, everyone there was super nice and helpful. For us, in this instance, the upgrade was worth the price, and we would probably do it again. We're going to be posting other videos from our trip, so make sure to like and subscribe.